Hello my viewers. My last work is totally done and finished. Big game which took so many years. Publishing, clearing, housing, casino, bank, everything true. National, international game is finished, accomplished successfully. But we know that occupancy and intervention was so much spreading in worldwide and in our country. They pretending they have a justice even with untrue and fake, overwhelmed us with their lawyer, judges, everything untrue, nasty. And I was playing at this time, and perhaps because I played means worked hard and worked it till the really good and finished, that established completely. It did not left, a true bank did not left our country, but I just reestablished it pompously, publicly. And it's a time to pay. It's a time to show that, where is the true, and we know who know where is the true. So everything fake has to be deported. And at the same days, change the rules on green card holding. They have to be returned to their countries and stay and wait until green card, a green card will invite them into United States to take a citizenship, as I understand those news. So everything fake is fail off. My game also, as you saw, I was showing playing a game through all of this long time, and obviously by the great unbreakable logic, we all came to conclusion that all those rules attachment was fake, because there is a big engine like a quiz in my game, which every quiz, and I will show you it again, it says even in the game on the screen that it's every quiz, it's super prize bonus. And this game was about super prize bonus and the other big huge prizes, and the super prize bonus was pending for a long time, and every day with a new number. So you cannot argue that fact unless they're totally done. Spam is always done. They were putting a stupid ads, stupid, all kind of their ads, trying pretend that they have a winning share. But every time I have stepped into the new period with a new prize number on a super prize, it was my work, my success, my progression into the playing this game more and more. And no one who did not play game and just have a tool to be attached to my game did not have a right to pretend on some kind of share. And this is it. And this is the answer. So everything I played from the first day to the last, it was my winning. And the game knows it, and the bank knows it. And bravo to them. And big bravo will be when I finally have to receive my prize, my work, my accomplishment. And here is that YouTube picture would make you not just smile but a laugh. People who try to hold all our system and everything falling apart, everything fake, untrue, either fell, either still falling down. All right, let's see what's on my liked videos page. they do so many times the true justice with the good lawyers, so many times telling that impeachment is done, and president, still sitting and pretending he is holding the country and conducts the party. Which party he is conducting? All right. Let's well, I would like my last two videos I observed to talk about. Okay, first this one. This video telling that Nobel Prize winning psychiatrist, so it's somebody who already won
abnormalities in gait,
visibly, publicly. This person talk about mental unfit to run the office as a president.
I know a lot better if I had a serological test for syphilis.
And you mentioned an MRI, which it really is an objective diagnostic tool. What would, if there was an MRI done of Donald Trump's brain, or anyone's brain, would it show objectively evidence of dementia, of other cognitive decline?
It could, yes. It could show a multiplicity of organic findings in his brain that would, in fact, influence his thinking, his emotions, and his behavior. That would be a tremendously powerful tool. I had, years ago, I had one of my patients he was a professional criminal. He was a bad dude. And in fact, I didn't know at the time, but he was a serial killer. He would kill people. He didn't tell me about that stuff, but he told me about other things. And I said, you got this thing going in your brain. I think we need to take a look at your brain. He says, okay, by me, doc. Let's go for it. So I put him through a very sophisticated set of tests, which we were developing at the Children's Hospital in Boston, called brain electrical activity mapping. Without getting into the numbers, it shows you which regions of the brain have abnormal brainwaves. And his brainwaves showed abnormalities in this part of the brain, prefrontal cortex. And this part of the brain.
Okay, that's in the middle. Let's see in the beginning of this conversation.
And lawful removal from office for medical reasons. So, doctor, thanks so much for being on.
Well, that's a pretty breathtaking summary. Can I go now?
No, we got too much to cover, my friend.
Okay. All right, Dean, roll.
So tell us first. So I touched on your background a little bit. Tell people a little bit about your work and that the years that you worked and focused on the psychiatry as a profession.
Sure. I've practiced psychiatry for over 50 years. I've been on the faculty of 5 medical schools. My mother might say that you can't keep a job. But on balance, I've been around, and I specialized in substance abuse disorders. I was one of the contributors to the Diagnostic Manual of the American Psychiatric Association. What am I? This sounds very good. I'm a Distinguished Life Fellow of the American Psychiatric Association. Although by the time I'm done here, they might take that away.
So you have an impressive background, and it's really remarkable. I want the people to know that you put a lot of work in there, and you have developed a reputation in your field. So for you to put something out like this, you're risking it. So I imagine that it's really important for you, and you understand that in advance. So to me, it gives it more credibility about what you're talking about. It's easy to sit back and not do anything. So let's talk about the letter here. What led you and the other 36, a group of 36, or you and the other 35 physicians and doctors with expertise in mental health to actually sign this letter and write this letter?
Well, I think there are 2 reasons. One, we were witnessing with increasing alarm the changes within the president, mentally and cognitively and emotionally, that were alarming and were suggestive of possible but very specific and disturbing mental health issues. That was the first piece of the story. The second piece of the story is really how we manage the nuclear arsenal. And there's only one person in the United States that can launch a nuclear war. That's the president. He's followed around by an officer in the Air Force who has a little suitcase. Its nickname is the football. Inside that suitcase, chained to his little arm, is a series of codes which, at a moment's notice, can launch nuclear strikes anywhere in the world. So coupled with emotional instability and sole access and control over nuclear weapons, my colleagues and I, we didn't say this in the document that was recorded in the congressional record, but my opinion was, yikes. This is really, yikes. This it may not be very professional, but it is right on target. We were really, and we continue to be very much disturbed by the current state of affairs with respect to the president and his control of nuclear weapons, and more recently, his threats implicitly and explicitly to use them against Iran.
Yes, very much so. I mean, the conclusion, I'll read the concluding line, then we'll go backwards a little here. It says, Donald J. Trump is mentally unfit to be president of the United States, and that steps to remove him from office must be undertaken with the greatest urgency. So what did you review to reach that conclusion?
All right, it's a long conversation. Finally, we heard something important out of it. I am turning page back to the liked video pages so I can see what else here. Chaos on impeachments. Right, so many impeachments and still Donald Trump is in office, seemingly. Let's click this video.
9:42 a.m. this morning, federal judge Catherine Torres issued a ruling that stripped specific executive authorities from a sitting president. Not a recommendation, not a suggestion, not a theoretical opinion from a legal scholar on cable news. A binding federal court order removing presidential powers in real time. 9:42 a.m. That's when everything changed. One moment we had a legal dispute working through normal channels. The next moment we had a federal judge saying the president no longer has the authority to exercise certain executive powers while this case is active. That has never happened before. Not during Watergate, not during Clinton's impeachment, not during any previous confrontation between courts and presidents.
So something radically big done right now at this moment, this day, within our justice, that finally they see he just ignore and continue being a president and spreading a disaster in a politic seems, and they decide that a new law, which is actually old, if he issued by the judges the order which is issued now, he cannot do. Means he is actively under investigation. There is a lots of felony. He's a felon also, not just the attachment, fake justice we're wearing on a true legal people. But he is the felon, and he created that felon justice attachment, fake attachment, and he's still conducting, disregarding what a true justice saying. So they issue a warning that he cannot do anything right now until everything will be totally resolved, and they saying every time with impeachment that he has to be removed, but he's still sitting in the office. But what she says now, Rachel Maddow.
We had a federal judge saying the president no longer has the authority to exercise certain executive powers while this case is
So he cannot exercise the power. That's the word. He cannot exercise no power, no any movement.
That has never happened before.
While
Not
his
during
case
Watergate,
is
not during Clinton's
active,
impeachment,
and a
not
case
during
is
any
active
previous
and for a long
confrontation between
time.
Courts and presidents in American history. The political world went into immediate freefall. White House issued a response within 6 minutes. 6 minutes. That means they had a statement ready. They knew this was coming, and they still couldn't stop it. Congressional leadership on both sides called emergency sessions. Markets dropped 2.8% in the first 20 minutes after the ruling came down. International media picked it up within the hour. BBC, Reuters, Al Jazeera, everyone covering this as a potential breakdown of American executive power. But here's what most coverage is getting wrong. They're treating this like politics. Like there are two sides to debate. Like this is just another chapter in the usual Washington drama. It's not. This is a federal judge telling a sitting president that his powers are being taken away by court order.
So his power is taken away by the court order. Is it true or false? Yes, seems like it's true because lots of videos, long time I'm saying the same thing, and he's still in the office. So who we can blame it for? His cabinet, his administration, that they holding him?
It's not politics. That's a constitutional earthquake. 3 tracks are now moving simultaneously, all connected, all accelerating. By the end of this breakdown, you'll understand why this ruling is different from every single judicial challenge to presidential power that came before it. Let's map this out. 7 days ago, this was a subpoena. Standard federal court process. Judge Torres ordered Trump to produce financial documents connected to an ongoing investigation into alleged misuse of emergency powers. Routine. Happens in federal courts constantly. Trump's legal team had options. They could have negotiated a production schedule. They could have produced some documents and contested others. They could have worked with the court. They chose confrontation. Day 1, subpoena issued. Trump's lawyers responded by claiming blanket executive privilege over every single document requested. Not some documents, all of them. Judge Torres rejected the claim the same afternoon. Before day 1, this was a standard discovery dispute. After day 1, it was a direct challenge to judicial authority. Day 3, compliance deadline passed. Trump produced nothing. Judge Torres issued a contempt finding. Trump's team immediately appealed. Before day 3, Trump could have complied, and this would have disappeared from the news entirely. After day 3, a sitting president had a federal contempt charge on his record. Day 5, appeals court upheld the contempt finding unanimously. 3 judges all agreed. Trump's team had argued executive privilege protected everything. The appeals court said no, not even close. They called the privilege claim overbroad and unsupported by precedent. Before day 5, Trump's team could claim the legal process was still working in their favor. After day 5, every court that looked at this said they were wrong. Day 7, today, Judge Torres didn't just hold Trump in contempt again. She stripped specific executive authorities. She said if the president won't comply with courts, then the president loses the powers he's using to obstruct compliance. Each day, Trump's team chose escalation over cooperation. Each day, the courts responded harder. 7 days of miscalculation.
So we all see by this news anchor, representative, Russian matter, that justice growing strong, angry, and thus severe and strict steps towards to very incompetent government and its administration. Also president, especially president.
Choice narrowed the options. Each refusal gave Judge Torres more legal justification. Until this morning, when she had no choice left but to act. Here's the line from the ruling that changed everything. Page 47, paragraph 3. Judge Torres wrote that presidential authority is hereby suspended pending compliance. 5 words. Presidential authority is hereby suspended, not limited, not questioned, not challenged through normal appellate channels. Suspended.
So basically Donald Trump's authority to sit and pretend he's a president is everything is suspended. All right? Because the job cannot be pending forever. But the good thing of my job and my price, which was pending every day with a new price number, finally came to the end. And I am waiting for a price presentation. And it could be only this weak administration, which is a trouble actually for our whole country and society, could be only a thing which put this whole process on hold. But perhaps like a constitution, like a good justice, like everything good, yet still existing in our country will prevail all of this in uncomfortable incompetence of those who don't have a right to hold even everybody's job to be paid. They cannot. They don't have a rights. They don't have a right even to be in their office and do the job which is not up to them, not belong to them, no longer.
That word matters more than anything else in this entire ruling. Let me show you why. In every previous judicial confrontation with a sitting president, courts have done one of two things. They've ordered the president to do something: produce documents, testify, comply with a subpoena, or they've told the president he can't do something. Can't hire a special counsel, can't withhold evidence, can't claim privilege over certain materials. Both of those approaches leave presidential authority intact. The president still has his powers. The court is just telling him how to use them or what he can't do with them. Judge Torres did something completely different. She didn't order Trump to act. She didn't tell him what he couldn't do. She took the authority itself away.
Just authority is taken away. Bravo! This is a holiday for a whole country. That finally, they all who support the person who disregard the true constitution and true law and true Americans, ignore them. Finally, he is taken basically away from us. His power is taken away.
Suspended it, removed it from his hands entirely until he complies. Constitutional scholars flagged this within minutes. A Harvard law professor.
All right. So he cannot do anything, as we understand,
them in
till
contempt.
the justice
Remove
will
their
find
power to act
out
in specific areas. That
if
changes the
anything can
calculations.
save
Before
him
this week,
out
the
of
president
prison.
could
Now
decide-
it's the prison because all his 34 indictments are still there. He did not prove that he is a good human who can hold the office to be a president.
Courts, and the worst case was a contempt finding, a political problem, not a power problem. After this week, Defiance risks losing the authority itself. That's a different equation entirely. Every future confrontation between branches of government now has this ruling as a reference point. Congress knows courts can act this aggressively against the executive. Courts know they have this tool available. The executive knows the other branches will use it. The balance of power between the three branches of American government shifted this week, not temporarily, permanently, for every citizen who believes rule of law applies equally.
And I do believe, we have to believe, because we have to live this life, not under some kind of bad, ugly regime of the terror.
This week answered a question that has been theoretical for 250 years. Can courts actually check presidential power when a president refuses to be checked? Before this week, that question lived in law school textbooks and academic debates. After this week, it lives in federal case law. The answer is yes. Courts can check presidential power. A federal judge just proved it. This week doesn't belong to Trump or Judge Torres or Congress. This week belongs to the constitutional system itself. And what happened this week will echo through every presidential administration for the next 100 years. Here's what's clear after everything we just walked through. When the people at the top are fighting over power, when institutions are in crisis mode, when courts and Congress and the White House are locked in a constitutional standoff that nobody knows how to resolve, ordinary people feel powerless. You watch the news, you see the chaos, you see billions of taxpayers.
Yes, so the people, simple people, when they hear the news like this, they feel that nobody above is situated. There is like a totally destruction of our society when the people from above in our government having such a chaos. So, this should never be, because administration is only for serving the legal people, small people needs, not for making the money, especially they were making the money such untrue, improper, illegal way, and attracted so many illegal people also to the government. No longer. So we finally hear that the judges and the justice exist, the true ones. Who has to bother? Only the terrorists terror-making people, only terrorists which sneaked into our government and crash their bad attachment, justice which never was a justice, very abusive for all true people. It's a good news. It's a good news. It's a good news.